Y'all, it looks like Tamar Braxton just flipped the script and aired out her own sister. And baby, it's messy. In a shocking twist no one saw coming, Tamar is reportedly accusing Toni Braxton of trying to steal from her. Yep, the drama is deep. And the receipts? They're piling up fast. We're talking secret account changes, quiet financial moves, and a bankruptcy scandal that Toni allegedly tried to bury for good. But here's where things really go left. Insiders say Tamar didn't stumble on this by accident. Word is, Toni's own bank caught some shady transactions and flagged Tamar about it. Now Tamar's calling her sister out, labeling her a liar, a manipulator, and straight up a thief. So, how did this sister bond turn into a full-on betrayal? And what did that bank allegedly confirm that set Tamar off like this? Let's unpack it, because this might be the Braxton family's biggest fallout yet. For years, rumors have been swirling that Toni's money situation hasn't exactly been spotless, from bankruptcy filings to unpaid debts and messy court battles. But no one thought things would get this personal. Allegedly, Tamar just learned that Toni tried to pull a slick move behind her back, and not just any move. It's being said she tried to get access to Tamar's money without her knowledge. And if you know Tamar, then you know she doesn't play about her coins. Multiple insiders claim she went off when she found out. We're talking about lawyers being called, threats of lawsuits, and talk of getting authorities involved.
To me, I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%.
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me. And immediately, she made me feel this big. This big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down.
If you've followed the Braxton family values, you already know the sister tension's been brewing for years. But if these claims are true, this might be the breaking point that tore everything apart. Now, Toni's side of the story paints a different picture. People close to her say she's been under serious financial pressure for a while, mostly because she's always tried to hold the family down. She's been the responsible one, covering expenses and helping their mom financially. Toni's even admitted in the past that she's handled most of their mom's bills because no one else would step up, though Tamar has helped here and there. But at the same time, Toni's lifestyle has always been expensive. Private jets, designer fits, luxury homes. She's lived large for decades. And when the money started to dry up, it seems she might have been looking for ways to keep that lifestyle going, even if it meant crossing the line with her own blood. Between trying to hold her family together and keeping up her lavish lifestyle, it's not hard to see how things might have started to spiral out of control for Toni. When you factor in her own expensive taste and her mom's equally costly lifestyle, the financial strain becomes pretty obvious. Word on the street is that Toni's funds were getting dangerously low, and that's allegedly when things took a dark turn. Rumor has it, once
My family, most of the time, I don't like my family. Everyone in my family.
Take a breath.
Everybody. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. If they weren't my family, it wouldn't be my
the money started drying up, Toni may have started dipping into Tamar's finances. No one really knows how she managed to pull it off, but whatever she did must have crossed a serious line, because Tamar wasted no time snapping back. And if there's one thing we know about Tamar, it's that she's not keeping quiet when someone messes with her bag. Here's the craziest part. Toni hasn't exactly kept her feelings about her sisters a secret. In a past interview, she actually admitted that most of the time, she doesn't even like them. Not that she just argues with them. She flat out said she doesn't like them. So if there was already bad blood simmering under the surface, this whole money scandal was basically a match thrown into gasoline. And let's be real, Tamar hasn't exactly kept her feelings about Toni on the low. She's dragged her sister publicly more than once, and she's never been shy about letting fans know when things aren't right behind the scenes. One of her most talked about posts had fans genuinely worried. Tamar wrote, "Asterisk, y'all have no idea.
none.
The gaslighting is crazy, and I'm going back into treatment. I'm mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never gone back to Braxton family values. Never." I'm single and sad, and this TV stuff is a lot. Asterisk. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. These sisters have had a history of blocking and unblocking each other online like it's a sport. On Tamar's birthday last year, Toni posted a photo saying, asterisk, wanted to repost the gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tay. Well, Tamar wasted no time clapping back. She replied, asterisk, I block my sisters all the time. You get on my nerves, you get unfollowed. Asterisk, then she doubled down with another jab directly at Toni, saying, asterisk, or you could have called gaslighting. Asterisk, and just when fans thought she was done, Tamar added, asterisk, y'all gonna stop playing with me. It's my birthday, I'm with my friends, not bothering a soul. You did that to be petty, like, we don't talk. Happy birthday to me anyway. Love you too. So yeah, it's no secret that Tamar and Toni's relationship has been shaky for years. So her calling Toni out now, especially over money, isn't exactly shocking. What is surprising, though, is that Toni Braxton, of all people, would allegedly have to pull something shady in the first place. She's a Grammy-winning icon, a certified R&B legend. You wouldn't expect her to be struggling financially. But if you look back, Toni's money problems go way back, and the pattern's hard to ignore. She was one of the biggest stars of the 90s, selling millions of albums and dominating the charts. But somehow, all that success didn't translate into long-term wealth. She ended up filing for bankruptcy not once, but asterisk twice. The first time came in 1998, shocking the entire industry. Fans couldn't wrap their heads around how one of the most successful voices in R&B could go broke. She was everywhere, on radio, on TV, on tour. Yet suddenly, she was in financial ruin. Things only got worse as the years went on. The debt piled up, the headlines got harsher, and the public scrutiny became brutal. At one point, Toni even went on the Oprah Winfrey Show hoping to clear the air, but it didn't go as planned. Oprah pressed her with tough questions about her spending habits and business decisions, pointing out how some of her choices led to the financial downfall. Instead of owning up, Toni grew defensive and emotional, accusing Oprah of being mean. What was meant to be a redemption moment turned into an awkward spectacle, and it only made the situation look worse. It was a pivotal moment, one that showed the cracks not just in Toni's finances, but in her public image. And when you connect that history to what's allegedly happening with Tamar now, the whole picture starts to make a lot more sense. Toni did manage to recover after that first bankruptcy, and for a while, it seemed like she had finally regained her footing. The music was flowing, the spotlight was shining bright again, and everything appeared to be back on track. But the peace didn't last long. In 2010, history repeated itself. Toni filed for bankruptcy once more, and this time the numbers were even more shocking. Reports claimed her debts were somewhere between $10 million and $50 million, with the breaking point being the sudden cancellation of her Las Vegas residency following her heart condition diagnosis. But that wasn't the only storm she was facing. Behind the scenes, there were messy insurance disputes, denied claims, and a growing mountain of unpaid taxes. It was one setback after another until her finances collapsed completely. Since then, Toni has been quietly trying to keep things afloat, but the stats tell a different story. Her recent albums haven't performed anywhere near her earlier success. One release barely crossed 7,000 copies sold, landing at hashtag 163 on the Billboard 200, while the previous one did only slightly better with around 16,000 sales. For someone who once ruled the R&B charts, those numbers raise serious red flags. With record sales declining, most of her income started coming from Braxton family values, but even that eventually lost steam. Ratings dipped, the buzz faded, and without consistent music releases or major media appearances, it became clear that the pressure was building. And that's when fans began asking the real question: was her rekindled relationship with Birdman truly about love? Or was it about survival? Because here's what got everyone talking. Right around the time rumors started swirling that Toni was on the verge of another bankruptcy filing, she suddenly popped back up with Birdman, after years of being apart. There had been no hints, no public reconciliation, nothing. The timing was just too perfect. Many fans couldn't help but feel it wasn't about rekindling romance. It was a strategic move to stabilize her situation. When Toni and Birdman resurfaced as a couple in 2023, it stunned everyone. For years, Toni had made it crystal clear that the relationship was over. No mixed messages, no. Maybe someday. So, when she suddenly flipped the script, cozying up to him again, people immediately sensed something was off. And now that Tamar has started speaking out, spilling family secrets, fans are connecting the dots more than ever. Even before the latest drama exploded, there were already signs that something about Toni and Birdman's dynamic wasn't right. Many noticed it during her 2022 interview with Tamron Hall. The segment was meant to be an emotional, honest talk about her lupus diagnosis, but the moment Tamron brought up Birdman's name, Toni's whole energy changed. She froze, avoided eye contact, and the atmosphere turned tense. You didn't need to be a body language expert to feel it. Something was definitely off. And then came Tamar's shocking claim that Toni never actually lost her $5 million engagement ring from Birdman. If you remember, when Birdman proposed in 2018, the ring was a massive yellow diamond worth millions, the kind of rock that had everyone talking. But soon after, the wedding plans just fizzled out, postponed again and again until they quietly disappeared. Toni later claimed she had lost the ring after accidentally leaving it in a bag on a flight. The bag was returned, but the ring wasn't. Now, Tamar is alleging that Toni didn't lose the ring at all. She sold it. According to the rumors, Toni was facing serious financial strain and pawned the ring to cover her debts, then fabricated the lost luggage story to save face. And honestly, given her long history of money troubles, it doesn't sound too far-fetched. Fast forward to now, and things just keep getting wilder. Reports claim Toni filed for divorce from Birdman only 2 weeks after their wedding, saying they had separated just 2 days after tying the knot. But here's the real kicker. Multiple insiders allege that Toni tried to walk away with a $160 million divorce payout. Yes, you read that right. Married for less than a month and already aiming for a 9-figure settlement. Fans were stunned. Some called it smart, others labeled it manipulative, but everyone agreed something didn't add up. It's making people wonder if this was the plan all along, a financial strategy disguised as a love story. Because honestly, how do you go from happily married to divorced and demanding $160 million in just 2 days? The math ain't matting. And now, the whispers that Toni's been chasing the bag instead of love are louder than ever. And how do you walk away that fast and still feel entitled to his entire fortune? Something about it just doesn't make sense. A lot of people are now convinced there's more going on behind the scenes, like Toni might be holding on to something about Birdman that's never been made public. The whole situation has fans calling her out left and right, saying this was never about love. It was a calculated setup from the start. Lately, Toni's been looking more desperate for cash than ever, and honestly, the pieces aren't lining up. This feels deeper than a simple money issue. There's hidden chaos somewhere in the mix, secrets that haven't surfaced yet, and a lot she's clearly not saying. Because at this point, even her own bank allegedly confirming bankruptcy rumors makes it hard to ignore what's really happening. Now, with that kind of financial paper trail, it's not just Tamar being petty online anymore. She might actually be exposing solid receipts. And if it's true that Toni really tried to pull a slick move on her own sister, that's not just messy family drama. That's a betrayal on a whole new level.